Every stone marks a story. Interesting stories, people like you and I. History that should be recounted. Here we toast those you may or may not know who have gone on before us and left behind their tales to be told. Here we'll be drinking with dead people.
In the center of Memphis lies Midtown, as they call it here. We're precisely at an area of Madison Avenue and Angelus. And in between, nestled between a grocery store called Cash Saver and Home Depot, is a little plot. And this little plot is interesting because this marks the known burial of the Bettis family. Yeah, Tillman Bettis and his family settled here after the 1818 treaty, and they were on their way down to New Orleans. Actually, they were coming down the river. They came down a flatboat, and when they got to Memphis, they thought, this is actually kind of a cool place to stay. So they did. They stopped here, and thus they built up their farm. Now that's when things got kind of interesting. Tillman Patterson Bettis was one of the first settlers of Shelby County, along with James, William, and John Bettis, Gideon Thomas, Anderson, and Overton Carr, Thomas and Drury Patterson, as well as some others. He was born in North Carolina near the Virginia border, October 6, 1788, Irish descent. He became a farmer. He was a member of the Presbyterian Church, married in Wilson County, Tennessee on May 10th, 1809 to Miss Sally Carr. They came to Shelby County in 1819, just after the 1818 treaty, traveling on a flatboat with several other families bound for New Orleans. And upon reaching this point, they were so well pleased with the country that they just decided to settle here. The first white female child born in Shelby County, Tennessee was Mary Bettis, the sixth child of Tillman P. and Sally Bettis. His second wife, Mrs. Sally Harkleroad Gribben, was born in Pennsylvania in 1800. They were married in Arkansas, March 1827. Tillman owned extensive acreage throughout this whole area, laying between present-day Poplar Avenue and Union Avenue. He died at his home on Union Avenue on February 6, 1854, and is buried here in the family plot on the grounds now owned and occupied by the Home Depot. Now, this really is sort of a sad state of affairs if you think about it. I mean, this place has been around since, this was before the Civil War when this family was buried here. And, well, I guess the Vandals thought it would be better things to do with a place like this. But part of my problem, too, with all of this is that it's supposed to be taken care of by the guys over at the Home Depot, but they're not doing anything, and it's kind of odd because they've got the wherewithal to do it, and certainly, even though in the midst of a pandemic, you can still send a guy or two over here with a bucket, and I mean, obviously they keep the grasses clean, but there's still a little bit of trash, and these stones are a sad state of affair. I mean, this is a marble piece. Used to stand on that, and it was a marker of the entire family that was buried here. When Tillman and his wife Sally were here, they had their one child, and Sally gave birth to this young lady who would be the very first female white individual born in Shelby County, as far as we know. It's kind of an odd statement to make, really, in this day and age, but that's the way it was, and that's the way they thought of it that way. And I guess all of you girls in East Memphis have a lot to live up to now because, well, the first one's right here. Thanks to vandals who pushed over the marble obelisk that was the mark of the family plot here, and the fact that it's, 200 years old, it's kind of hard to read what is made out onto the actual stone. I was here some time ago, back when the stone was still standing, so it came over, some point within the past 6 months or so. But there it is. It's kind of a sad state of affairs, and hopefully someday there'll be somebody who'll put things together to come in and make it right again for this family. For a lot of us, when we shuffle off this mortal coil, we tend to think about what things we're going to leave behind. And for the Bettis family, they thought maybe their land would be of some value to future farmers and agrarians that were living here at the time. Well, as you can see, now that it's turned into the neighborhood that it has, that legacy is long gone. As for their family plot and their remains, well, this is all that's left. It's kind of sad when you think about it, especially that even now, into this day and age, here in the 21st century, we do have people that are assigned to stay in charge of this sort of thing. And you would think they would come out here and take care of this. But alas, they haven't. But at least we could come out and show you a little bit of who these people were. It's kind of sad to think that sometimes that when we go through this world, we think about the things that we're going to leave behind. Perhaps it's other children. Perhaps it's a life that is well lived. Perhaps it was our things that we've acquired throughout these years, like land and a farm, and to be reduced into this plot. Well, that's, I guess, destined for all of us. So you hope that the Bettis family would get a little bit more of respect than what has happened here, considering it is, quite frankly, one of the oldest known proper graveyards in Shelby County. So before we go, we must pay our tribute, as we always do, as we like to toast those who have gone on before us with the tales of themselves as well. So to the Bettis family, here's to you. Don't forget to give us a like, subscribe to the channel, see more. We'll see you next time as we continue on drinking with dead people.